This is your daily market review for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great day. Turnaround Tuesday, not so much, more of a choppy, sloppy mess. China overnight announced a large stimulus package that was pretty much known, but when? That was always the key here. I mean, I've always heard this rumor. It's been in the works for a while. Them finally announcing it's interesting. Seeing the reaction in the bond market, seeing the reaction to commodities. This has to put the Feds in a weird position because, again, it makes sense now maybe why they did a 50 basis point cut when it was predicted 25 for weeks and months, and then the last week it flipped. So I wonder if they were trying to get their rate cuts in before China goes stimulus heavy. Knowing that, not surprised, materials are up. Tech, some up, some down, choppiness. Overall, in my opinion, be careful. Just be careful because, again, you don't cut big. You don't do big stimuluses unless there's major problems and they're trying to grease the pipes, grease the ball bearings before bigger problems come. So that's what I've noticed over my 20 plus year career. Near term, hard to know. Long term, it feels again like the risk reward will be to the downside in some sort of calamity of issues, which who knows what it will be. Again, the black swans, as they say, you don't know. You don't know. Like it's a black swan for a reason. It comes out of nowhere. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. A link in the description below. Let's get dialed in. Let's see some of the levels. Again, today's action. And again, there were some nice moves in the materials names. You had to front run that. And we talked about it. It's not something I have any desire to short, but looking for pullbacks. And might be runaway on it. Twitter, like, subscribe, hit the notification bells, follow, posting trades, ideas, thoughts. Same thing on the YouTube. Same thing everywhere. Again, connect, leave a comment below. Heart, I appreciate it. Follow if you want more advice. And also, again, if you're want to learn how to trade, there's 52 educational videos from, 5 to 10 minutes on this. Well worth the time. If you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out, here to help. Again, also on the website tradingagent.com. Here's the education stuff as well. Tons of good resources on this website. I put this all here for free for you. If you want to chat, hit me up on the Calendly. I appreciate, again, taking some time to chat with people. Again, give to receive. The universe is an abundant place. Believe in it. Love to help you out. And again, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate and you don't reach out and get two agents for the price of one and use your Uncle Larry, where you talk to somebody and just use the first person you talk to, I wish you luck. I do. But if I can help, I'd love to. And again, all 5-star ratings, folks I've worked with. And again, is always the first agent the best? No. Right? Sometimes we have to weed through them. And this is where I can help people realize, like, hey, I will put you in touch with the best agent I know in your area, but they might not fit your personality, might not fit your wants and needs. And so that's the thing. Let me help you sift through the bull crap. I don't know why I clicked on my LinkedIn, but hey, hello. All right. Feds meeting tomorrow. I'm just kidding. November. Man, it's November 7th, which is kind of crazy. Look at this. The odds of rate cuts continue to scream. Bitcoin. And I don't feel like this is updating correctly. It happens a lot. Man, it's really hard to just not be bullish on this stuff. But look, you got to get over this 65,000. Oil, as we talked about, here comes into the downtrend. Not surprised. This is the hardest thing about where we're at in the cycle. We know economic growth is slowing. We know housing sales are down. Inventories are up. We know the economy, the GDP. We know all the indecisiveness because of the election. We know that if one party wins, they have certain ideas, and another party wins, they have other ideas. People are frozen. So keep that in mind. Be careful. So oil demand destruction is a real thing. Natural gas been holding up pretty damn well. Again, we called the bottom down here, but I was really looking for a retest. But you did get the double bottom. We said it was due to bounce. Congrats. Again, that will be one for the long term, in my opinion, that you can't really go wrong on. dollar. Look at the weakness today. China stimulates and the dollar gets whacked. Again, talking about dollar volatility, worth watching. TLT dropped at the open, came back. We said, if you sold cover calls on the UBT at the high, looking good, folks. Watch for the 95 area, or again, whenever you're comfortable taking some off. I mean, now it's broke. If you had a trend line, I mean, you can see it again. I don't always draw this stuff because it makes my charts just ugly. It's broken the trend. but it could just be a fib. Let me draw that real quick. I don't know why I don't have that saved. I apologize. Let's just draw on this is the stuff I'm watching. Okay, if the move is completed near term, here, look at that 50 fib, man. Look at 95. Look at the 100, 200. Like that to me makes sense. VIX 15's talked about it. Here we're down here. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that we're come on, get it. Here we are. Keep an eye on it. VIX typically bottoms before the bottom in the VIX. It's interesting, making a new low. Watch the range down here in the 90s. Next couple days, just keep an eye on it. SPY, another Doge, another hammer slash whatever. Shh, a lot of indecision up here. I mean, again, you get back under 560s, mid 560s, it can open up. If it holds up, it can continue holding up. QQQ talked about adding SQQ here. Makes sense. Back near the range highs. It's a very binary trade. I know some people don't like shorting. That's fine. But it's no different than buying the dip out of reference. Does this make sense? It's very simple. It's either is going to work or it isn't. And it's all that it has to be. IWM, check it out, right? Talked about it lagging. Doesn't make sense. Again, the market is not overall strong, but hey, market can be more irrational than you can be solvent at times. We've talked about it. If you've read Reminiscent of the Stock Operator, he talks about this. Like the market can be irrational. Be careful. DIA retesting. Look at gold today, right? RIP. Congrats. Again, if you're a bull, I mean, we talked about it breaking over the channel. I personally own physical, not playing the paper game, waiting for a pullback. Looks like the train left. Not going to be the first time I'm wrong or missed a trade. It is by nature part of the game. It's a probability-based game. If I could hit every trade all the time, I would probably not be speaking to you at this point. I'd be a trillionaire. But that's the reality of it. I'm not perfect. Congrats if you're long it. Again, I've owned physical. Silver, I've been talking about silver since 2013. I like the deep value. Here we go. Got to break out. GDX and GDXJ said they've been lagging. Watch now, right? Pulling over the Fed high. Again, looks bullish. GDXJ, same thing. Once they got over, they look strong. How much higher? I mean, again, you're going to come into some references soon in the 50s. Same thing in the 40s with the GDX. Congrats. Again, just I've said this multiple times. If this is the first level breakout in the minors, remember, there's multiple stages of long-term moves. There will be a pullback. AEM, again, congrats. AG, we talked about this one lagging and finally, I guess today, playing a little catch-up. Broke over the 100-day. Let it come into the downtrend, see what happens there. Newmont, we've talked about this one for a while. Like this thing should be in the 70s and 80s. Thought yesterday might be a little, again, ominous, but look, the volume was light. I said that on the video. So the volume was not light enough to really like, it said, just put the arrow and see what happens. Okay. Keep an eye on this stuff. This is the hardest part, right? The Feds are in a pickle. China and the rest of the world starts stimulating. Inflation catches up, starts rearing ahead, ugly head again. What are the Feds going to be able to do at this point? They're fudged, right? They're going to be fudged. So we'll see what happens here. Keep an eye on pass. Again, we like materials long-term. I'm telling you, I'm a long-term bull of materials, short and long-term short of tech. Speaking of tech, look at Taiwan Semi. Gapped up, didn't do anything on this. Waiting for Micron's earnings tomorrow. I mean, could it fill the gap? Micron, again, we talked about this playing the uptrade into earnings. Watch the gap here at 96. AMD, again, coming into the 200-day, coming into this level of resistance. Do we bull trap or is this just more chopping and then dropping? Again, you got to be a little nervous about names running up. NVIDIA, man, got stopped out of the short today. It makes sense. I mean, I'm going to laugh when Micron gets throttled and it pulls it all down, but I will be sticking to my discipline, watching the 120s now if we break the trend line. Again, I've seen this before. Again, look at this, what it did on this trend line. It can play games. Be careful. SMCI, talk about getting up to 500. This is a great trade if you bought it down here. It's just, will we get there? That's the question. Intel, a lot of people get mad when I talk about like this whole thing about Qualcomm buying them, to me, is kind of a fake just to get people liquidity to get out before it gets delisted. We'll see what happens here. Watch the 50-day. Again, I mean, I don't know if I'd go shorting this, but if you had longs, just roll up your stops. Be careful. SMH, if you added at Soxus today, we talked about like this watching the 100-day. I like it here. Adobe, this thing's been absolutely playing games around. Post earnings, gaps down, chops, bounces at a backside of a trend line, chopping around. It's kind of a hard trade. Again, wanted to short it at range highs, but this is what we talk about, going up into earnings. I mean, you could have played it if you wanted, but it's just like, that's tough. That's just sometimes you're going to miss. Apple, again, this market doesn't look that strong with them not leading. Amazon all over the place today, kind of chopping around. Look at this long ass wick. Long doji. And it's filling the gap and playing games. Worth a watch. Meta, this thing looks like it's been a nice move. And that point is this could be the top here. Lower lows, lower highs. See what happens here. Now, high and tight isn't bearish. You can consolidate. Remember that. But just worth a watch. I mean, it's hard. In meaning like picking the top. You look for the formation after the fact. Now, here's how I would play it if you wanted to short it. Look for a retest, right, of the highs. Somewhere in the 570. Define your risk. Nail it. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, you're gone. It's that simple. It's like, I don't know. I didn't have to be that complicated. CRM, again, I like the short up here. It was up $6 today. I think they got an upgrade. Watch this area. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim, watch the 160s. 50-day, worth a watch. Microsoft, right? Chopping around. Range highs. I mean, this is where I was saying, like, I thought today, honestly, the close would be a little weaker, but Microsoft, I mean, a lot of names just don't look right. NDAQ, here's another one to me that I think is a prime short. 20-day breaks, it should go. MicroStrategy, this is one that we've been bullish on. This is a really nice move. 113 up to 153. I mean, if Bitcoin continues higher, I mean, I've said this, it's no doubt going back to the range highs. So I hope you see that too. It makes it simple. Netflix, this one's been holding really well at 700. Again, I don't really have an idea about next price point. I mean, I guess you could go back. I mean, that's why you're basing around here at the old all-time highs. It doesn't really make sense, in my opinion. But, I mean, I guess people are Netflixing and chilling more. But at this point, like, what's their subscriber growth? How can their revenue continue to grow? I don't believe in it, but the volume and the price action are light, and the volume and the price is moving. So if you were short it, you got stopped out. Roblox, here's another one that we talked about, bull trapping. I mean, if it bases here and it goes, this thing can squeeze. Like, I'm talking squeeze-a-roni. I don't even know if that's a word, but think about it. Big consolidation pattern. Breaks over the range highs. This thing could go perpendicular? You can go parabolic. Keep an eye on it. Pan W. Here's another one we talked about. Like, I like this long term, just letting it play out. Tesla, I know some people were like, hey, should I short it today? I'm like, I mean, it got over the gap. Why not retest the range lows? And it literally got there, right near 257. At this point, this is a nice move up. I don't know. Again, this is where you have to be honest with. Like, I don't know what the best short would be, but that doji could be interesting, but it could be a doji sandwich tomorrow. So I'd be watching the range highs. Again, seems to be that Trump and Elon are buddy-buddy. It's tough to really know for sure what's the right trade on that, other than long has been right and short has been wrong. That's all I can tell you. Insight, I like this company to get bought out at some point. We talked about it. All their public data looks good. It seems to be basing. Somebody was buying the shiznit out of it. Pfizer, finally kind of looking like it might go. I don't know. Holding the 20-day, I mean, it's a good reference. McDonald's, kind of watching the highs. I'm going to replace Pfizer actually with PLTR because a lot of people asking me about that. It's like, all right, pivoting. Yesterday gets added to the S&P 500 or 2 days ago. Chopping around. This is a nice move. And what do we know? High volume at highs and lows can be what? End of moves. Be careful. That's all I can say on this one. Like, please be careful. I don't think I would be chasing this thing at all up here. But I've seen crazier. As I said, like, if you want to short it, you got a reference. If you're going long, please roll up your stops. DKNG, putting P, because again, a lot of people ask about that one. DKNG, again, this is the short zone. Makes sense to me. Define your risk tight. Keep it simple. Airbnb, talked about the trash floating last. Watching that one. Costco, we talked about holding up. But today, it just wasn't 20-day. I mean, that's all I can say. 20-day. Starbucks, chopping around. You think with the China stimulus, this would be acting better? Nope. FedEx should be acting better with the China stimulus. Nice pop up to the 200-day. Caterpillar, we've talked about this one's seems to be holding up. Man, today's gap. I mean, that feels like a gap and trap. I know it's a breakout technically, but we'll see. Again, DE. Again, it just we knew China was going to do this. I've talked about this forever. Talked about, again, we have to refill the SPR. We talked about how the feds are stuck. China's going to do whatever it needs to like keep their economy from falling apart. But here's the thing. How well will that work? I mean, that's the answer, the question to the answer. Watching DE, I mean, this has been a great trade. If you bought this in the 340s, congratulations. Nucor, commodities should be up. Look at just dojis. It's just they weren't that strong today. Like steel, I thought would be up a little more. Watching a US, I mean, that looks like a left-right combo. VALE, of course, should be up with the China stimulus, right? Okay, that makes sense. Again, Brazilian commodity supplier, of course, they're supplying to China. Worth a watch. Copper was holding up. Arrow, baby copper. Okay, broke its wedge. Worth watching. Again, I'm not saying go out and short these things, but I would just say be careful if you're going to chase. I mean, personally, I wouldn't, but CCJ, this has been hot, bouncing. CF, again, we like ag names long term. Chopping some of these names at the range lows. Worth a watch, right? Just keep an eye on them. Aaron, again, we like aluminum. Freaking China. Can't you just wait after the election? No, I guess they're trying to put everyone in a pickle. Pickle. Worth watching. Again, I like these at lows. XLF, here's again where it's like really tough to trust the market. Bet. Sorry. Let me explain this. Keep an eye on this 20-day. Again, I like the financial shorts. It makes absolute sense to me. Again, if you're shorting JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all these names, just watch them. They're chopping up around resistance. Said the 20-day, it's possible yesterday. Close enough. Morgan Stanley. Chopping around. Again, I like this short. Again, I bought options on these long dated, just kind of defining my risk. Bank of America failing at 41. Of course, Buffett's selling. I mean, he can't sell it literally fast enough. I'd be curious to know if he even has a position anymore. Goldman Sachs keeps rejecting up here, chopping around, but we'll see what happens. Carry, another one that should be on fire, right? Pulling back. Interesting. Look at some of these copper names. Southern Copper. Again, I don't typically talk about them, but look at this. Materials. XBI, again, here's what you would think, right? If the risk's gone, this would be acting well. Nope. Congrats if you're short it. Looking pretty good. Housing. This one gets a little sneaky because, again, it feels like a bull trap, man. Doji up here. Again, I mean, housing future looks good, obviously, if rates come down, but rates are not down yet. And so pricing that in, again, if commodities come rearing back, it's just, I mean, this might end up being like the 70s. The Feds just can't really cut rates. They're going to have to raise rates again. That would cause a shiznit storm. Tan, again, I believe solar's not worth a shit, but it will hold up. If oil holds up, worth a watch. ENPH, again, a lot of these names have ranges. First Solar seems to hit the 250, backs off. Just worth an eye. Oil, I know some folks are playing the long oil game. I get it. Keep an eye on it. Be patient. Be thoughtful. Be careful near term, though. Again, XOP is not falling. UNG, again, I'm not a fan of this product, but we talked about we like natural gas. I liked it better with the KOLD short. If you did that, congrats. Looks real good. But as we said yesterday, probably it's time to take some profit due to bounce. XOP, again, we would think that this thing would be ripping today. Look at it. Hits the 50-day, opens high, closes low. I stated this in Discord. I'm like, something's not right with oil names. Remember, oil names typically precede oil. CVE, opens high, closes low, even though the candle's a little baby one. We talked about the gasoline names should be doing pretty good. And they got really nothing. ExxonMobil, look at this today, pops up. Valero, down a couple points. I mean, these things don't look really that strong. Occidental, again, this is one that should be like, I keep saying like, this one should be flying. Let's be honest. This thing should be flying. This thing has been in a big consolidation pattern. It's coming off the lows. Buffett just isn't interested in propping it up. EQT, we would think natural gas name, same kind of action. Should be ripping. Today didn't so much. Hit the 100, 200, backed off. I mean, again, I like these names long term. If I have to play them later, I will. Flex LNG, again, I think will be natural gas exporter. So any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, do yourself a favor. Hit me up. Get in touch. Leave a comment below. I appreciate all the love, support, the generous donations. You guys are awesome. Keep winning. Keep doing the best you can. And remember, the goal is to minimize losses, maximize wins by passive income producing assets and properties. Holler at your boy. Peace in the Middle East. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.